Attention Helldivers! Welcome to another crucial SES briefing. This time, we're taking a closer look at grenades, democracy's handheld dispensers of justice. We have some helpful tips and insights for you to better choose your throwable friend for each enemy you face. Because when it comes to spreading managed democracy across the galaxy, nothing says freedom quite like tossing high explosives at the adversaries of the Federation. So pay close attention, troops, or you'll end up a cautionary example in next week's safety seminar. Let's begin. First up is the humble G6 Frag. Costing a measly 2 medals from the Helldivers Mobilize Warbond, this is the official starter pack of explosive democracy, dealing 500 damage, medium armor penetration, and a radius of 10 meters. Its fuse is short, its blast radius wide, and its shrapnel tears through hordes like an XO-45 Patriot through a bug nest. It's good at clearing crowds, destroying nests, and even opens up loot containers. But if you accidentally drop it at your squad's feet, congratulations, you just won the award for most posthumous friendly fire. In truth, the G6 Frag is a good all-rounder for taking out light and medium enemies of every variety, but does little to no damage against heavier targets. Think of it as a party favor, but with fewer balloons and a lot more screaming. Next up, we have the standard issue G12 High Explosive, the grenade every graduate gets with their first democracy issue toothbrush. The G12 is more powerful than the Frag, with 800 damage, heavy armor penetration, and a 7-meter radius. This makes it perfect against bulkier targets like Chargers and Hulks.
I guess subtlety left the building the second this thing was cooked. One toss and you're either clearing a swarm or redecorating the drop zone with friendly fire.
Democracy with maximum splash damage. The downside though is that the fuse is a sluggish 3.5 seconds, so you'll need to cook it. That means hold it until it's about to blow, then release it at the right moment. Of course, if you mess up, you'll cook yourself, as well as any other Helldivers around you, instead. It's another great all-rounder for Terminids, Automatons, and the Illuminate, but it's best for heavies. It'll be far less effective and even a waste against light and medium units. On to the G7 Pineapple. If you decide to spend 65 medals in the Dust Devils Premium Warbond, you'll unlock this cluster grenade, so named because of the design of the bomblets that strongly resemble the outer layer of this tropical superfruit. In essence, this is your quintessential swarm killer. Funnel of bugs, cave choke point, boom, instant salsa. Boasting 300 damage plus 70 damage for each fragment, as well as 300 ballistic damage, light armor penetration, and a 10-meter radius. But beware, Helldivers. With a wide radius and lots of fragments, you'll shred yourself to pieces if you're too close. As an added bonus, you can combine the G7 with gas or incendiary weapons for a lovely layered damage casserole. The Pineapple is best used against the bugs, especially in their subterranean tunnels. Bots though, not so much. Save it for the fleshy weaker targets. Even for the squids, the G7 should be great against flesh mobs and the voteless, but for the most part, it works optimally against the Terminids. Now, for just 25 medals in the Steeled Veterans Premium Warbond, you can pick up the glorious G10 Incendiary. We're talking 300 explosion damage plus 100, medium armor penetration, and fire DPS for 20 toasty seconds. This is longer than its cousin, the G13 Incendiary Impact, which we'll get to momentarily. It excels at area denial for lighting up a swarm corridor. Just step back and watch bugs and squids get roasted like giant mutant marshmallows.
So basically, it's like the barbecue of democracy.
Exactly. But naturally, keep your squad away from these highly combustible munitions, because nothing ruins a barbecue quite like diving into your own firestorm. However, if all of you wear flame-resistant armor, incendiary grenades become far more feasible and less likely to result in friendly casualties. What's not to love about that? The TED 63 Dynamite can be unlocked on page 3 of the Borderline Justice Premium Warbond for 65 medals. It packs 700 damage, has medium armor penetration, and a huge 12-meter radius.
Wait, but Dynamite isn't a grenade.
Well, it goes boom, so close enough. Anyway, the great thing about the TED 63 is its programmable fuse, 5, 15, or 60 seconds. Put another way, short fuse for panic throws, medium for traps, and a long fuse when you want to toss it, walk away, and let democracy catch up later. The TED-63 is best against both bugs and bots, especially their static spawns. It's great for clearing hordes, blowing up bug holes, automaton fabricators, including bulk fabricators, and even cracking cargo containers, even if it's a bit overkill. The downside, though, is that the longer fuse makes precision tough, and it's a lot weaker on heavy armor. Still, if you need space cleared and the right planning and placement, the TED-63 delivers all that and then some. Now, let's move on to grenades designated Special. First up, we have the G16 Impact, unlocked for 20 medals in the Helldivers Mobilize Warbond. That means instant boom on contact, no fuse. The G16 is great for sniping weak spots, especially on heavier targets, tank vents, turrets, squid warpship doors. But a word of warning, if you trip while holding one, the results are not pretty. With a modest 400 damage, heavy armor penetration, and a 7-meter radius, the G16 Impact is a great surgical grenade. It's best used against bot armor and static targets. Just don't expect it to roll politely into bug holes. And another final warning. Be careful using it against hunters. If one leaps at you and rapidly closes the gap, you'll blow it and yourself to Super Kingdom Come. Next is the G13 Incendiary Impact, which can be acquired for 25 medals in the Polar Patriots Premium Warbond. Similar to the G16, the G13 Incendiary Impact ignites on contact, but with a lot less explosive oomph. You can use it to thin out small groups or discourage close-range enemies from venturing any further. With 150 damage plus 100 fire damage per second and a radius of 7 meters, it has less fire, less penetration, less everything compared to the G10. You can think of it as the G10's more impatient and slightly less efficacious younger sibling. Good against bug swarms or squads of squid, but definitely not your go-to for armored threats. For 25 medals in the cutting-edge Premium Warbond, you can get yourself the G23 Stun Grenade.
And it has a really short fuse time of only 1.8 seconds, so when you pull the pin like so, you better Whoops.
With 0 damage, but infinite style points, this grenade basically freezes enemies in place for 5 seconds, which should be more than enough time for you to line up shots, call in stratagems, or simply admire the carapace of a bug you just paralyzed. It has level 6 Tank 2 armor penetration and a radius of 10 meters. That said, it doesn't work at all on tanks, striders, or bile titans, but against hordes of chaff, très magnifique. And just remember, it stuns you too, if you're careless. On page 8 of the Helldivers Mobilize Warbond, and for just 25 medals, you can grab yourself the G3 Smoke. Finally, a grenade for pacifists.
We're Helldivers, Interloper. There are no pacifists.
You know what I mean. With no damage or armor penetration, the G3 won't kill anything, but it'll obscure vision for 30 seconds with its 5-meter radius. Bots hate it because they rely on their tyrannical AI-driven targeting systems to see. Bugs, not so much. They'll just sniff you out like a pack of angry bloodhounds made out of space fungus. We here at the SES recommend using the G3 for objective defense and stealth extractions. So for all you ODSTs, aka Helljumpers, this may be just the ticket for you. Whoa, what's that smell? Yep, it's the G4 gas grenade in the Chemical Agents Premium Warbond that you can unlock for 30 medals. The G4 is the stun grenade's stinky, unwashed cousin. Instead of freezing enemies, it confuses them, making them cough, stumble, and generally look like they've ingested a little too much democracy juice. With a meager 3 explosive but 25 gas damage per second, as well as Tank 2 armor penetration, this is arguably the ultimate soft target grenade. The G4 is good for softening up crowds, but beware, enemies still lash out randomly. And yes, Helldiver, you can indeed ignite them while they're choking. Very cinematic. Now for something truly special. We have the rather unorthodox G50 Seeker. Unlock it for 65 medals in the Servants of Freedom Warbond, and you'll own the galaxy's only grenade with a built-in homing instinct. Throw it, and it'll hunt for targets within 50 meters. Dealing 400 damage with heavy armor penetration and a radius of 7 meters, this makes it the ideal answer to gunships and aerial units. Goodbye, pesky stingrays. On the other hand, the G50 won't help much with nests or fabricators, so don't waste them on holes in the ground. Also, These little guys will politely follow you until they locate a target to destroy, like a lost super puppy with an explosive collar. Absolutely adorable, in a terrifying way. Now this is a really special grenade. For just 15 medals in the Democratic Detonation Premium War Bond, which remains one of our favorites, you can get yourself one sticky nightmare. Behold, the G123 Thermite.
Man, I love these things. You arm it by doing the... not again?
The Thermite has a tiny 2-meter radius, but when it latches on, it burns white hot for 6.5 seconds before detonating for closing in on 3,000 damage total. That's enough to cripple tanks, striders, and friendships if you somehow stick one to a squad mate by accident. Whatever you do, do not cook this grenade. That is, unless you enjoy lighting yourself on fire and tripping to your death. In which case, carry on. The G109 Urchin is similar in design to the Thermite, but it's part stun, part crowd control, and all headache. For 65 medals in the Force of Law Warbond, it's yours. It sticks to enemies, then pulses 4 times, stunning everything in range for nearly 14 seconds. No damage here, but with tank 2 penetration and a 4-meter radius, it's brilliant for locking down big threats so your squad can hammer away. Just don't stand too close unless you like running with 0 stamina. The G142 Pyrotech grenade is a fiery disco ball of democracy found in the Masters of Ceremony Premium War Bond for 65 medals. With an initial 50 explosive damage plus 20 fire damage per second, it sprays sparks everywhere before detonating, spreading flames wide and reliably roasting even heavily armored targets in its 5-meter radius. 2 well-placed Pyrotechs can even topple a factory strider. Think of it as fireworks night, but the only oohs and ahs come from the burning automatons. You should find this particular grenade useful on all fronts, and used correctly, it'll make all the difference on the front lines. And finally, Helldivers, we have the G31 Arc, which can be unlocked for 65 medals in the highly experimental Control Group Premium War Bond. Throw it, and it bounces around like a drunken thunder god, blasting arcs of electricity up to 5 times. Dealing 100 arc damage with each blast and heavy armor penetration, this grenade devastates hordes, but will also devastate you and your squad if you're anywhere near its 10-meter radius. Bring arc resistance gear or prepare to be your own executioner. The G31 is best used against Terminid mobs and packs of feral voteless. And again, it's worst used to test your teammates' patience. And as a last honorable mention, we have the K2 throwing knife. Though yes, it's not a grenade or an explosive.
Crikey, that's not a grenade, it's a knife. Or knives.
The K2 throwing knife, unlocked on page 3 of the Viper Commando's Premium War Bond for 60 medals, deals 250 damage with medium armor penetration. It arcs slightly left, so weak spot hits take a little practice. Throwing knives slip past shields, disable bot and bug mines when hitting the ground next to them, and even blow up ammo dumps. Unfortunately, they can't be retrieved, can't be used in melee, and sometimes alert enemies if you're the squad leader, or host, as some say. Throwing knives are, in fact, best used against automatons, especially their mines and supply bases. Explosions are definitely fun, but sometimes democracy arrives with a quiet and very sharp whisper. Maybe this is one the Hulljumpers want to check out? And there you have it, troops. Every grenade, and indeed throwable, in the current Helldivers arsenal. Use them wisely, and you'll be a hero of Super Earth. Use them poorly, and you'll be remembered in the after-action report as, quote, the guy who blew us all up. And remember, when all else fails, consult the most sacred doctrine of grenade usage, as written in the Book of Armaments, Chapter 2, verses 1 through 21. First thou shalt take out the grenade, then count to 3, not 4, nor 2, unless proceeding directly to 3. 3 shall be the number thou shalt count. 5 is way out. Then lobbest thou thy grenade of liberty toward thy foe. Now gear up and get out there. Pull those pins and spread managed chaos for liberty, one glorious explosion at a time. For Super Earth and democracy.